This is a trek-in. This is my first trek-in for a while.
This is the first trek-in all four of us together since the assembly, the yearly meeting.
And we have our
five of us.
Yeah, there we go.
Since like Nam.
This is
that has been since Nam. Nicely done.
Garrett's here. He's our buddy.
What's up, guys?
You know him from Trek-In 13.
And when Garrett's around, we like to squeeze in.
Yes.
This is trekyeah's squeeziest trek-in.
The tightest trek-in you've seen.
Are you
tightest.
We're in Bogotá right now.
We can barely fit.
Drinking agua con gas. They love that
gas
here.
all around, baby.
8,600 feet in Bogotá.
True.
And we went on a little hike the other day up to 10,400 feet, up to a church on a mountain.
It was just a little hike.
It was
really cool.
It was super pretty.
It was super pretty.
That was cool. It was a cool view in the city too.
Did you guys go in the church?
Yes.
I never went in the church. Actually.
What the heck?
I did.
I went in.
You guys know what the fourth element is? Love.
Ether.
I was gonna say love.
No, there's liquid, solids, gases. You know the fourth one.
Faith.
No. Faith is important, but it's not one of the.
What is it, senpai?
It's plasma.
Oh yes.
Is this a trek-in?
It's colder here.
And
Yeah.
at night, back to the 8,600 feet.
Oh.
Like whenever we work out, we get gassed real easy.
Yeah.
But mostly because we're weak.
But soon we'll be so powerful.
Speaking
when we come
of-
back down to normal Earth, we're gonna fucking.
Demigods.
We're gonna have
something.
less of a problem. working
Speaking
out.
of getting gassed really easily, tell them about the riot.
Oh, the
Oh
riot.
yeah. Well,
What?
it was a revolution.
Yeah, it's a revolution. We were going to work out, and we heard a lot of
There's a bunch
cars
of
honking,
Bombs
and then
going
we heard
off.
things exploding, and then we
Small
started-
bombs.
Then we started to smell something weird, and then we started to cry.
And then we were looking around, and I guess there's cops everywhere,
Right.
lining the streets.
And they were blocking off a highway, and we looked down the highway and we saw a bunch of cops in riot gear.
And like a huge truck with one of those like
Armored-
riot control
armored
hose,
truck.
like that
Oh,
would
the
spray
super
people.
soakers.
Right, yeah, the super
They
soaker
Picture your
9000.
garden
They
hose,
should
but
catch
with a
up.
lot more pressure. Like when your thumb's on part of it.
And with a truck under it.
Yeah, right.
Like,
it was tear gas, but like I was like my snot was like falling out of my nose. I was crying. Like it was pretty. You weren't affected that much by it.
No, because I eat a lot of spicy food.
Well, it was actually. I don't know if you
And
guys
you're
felt
like
it.
you're white, so
Yeah.
you're
That's
like
fair.
very sensitive
Like weak.
and weak. Yeah,
Right.
very low constitution.
Yeah, low
I'm like,
T.
I'm Sicilian, so like we eat like diavola and like.
Okay, give it a rest.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're at this revolution. We went down there and like we're like tearing up and like we can see some stuff going on. We see like some students in the distance. We're pretty far away at this point, and we're like, all right.
But we're still in danger for sure.
We're like, all right, let's go work out. And so we went back and we're working out and like shit all over my face.
Our
and-
gym's like open air, so like.
Right, and like people in the gym too, like the gym is clearing out because people in there are like starting to cry and stuff, and we're like just hopping on the bikes, like we're now like by ourselves. And we're like, man, it would be cool if you had your camera.
It was a
you know?
military grade workout, we said.
Right.
True military grade.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Tough Mudder, Bogotá.
Yeah.
And so we're working out, and then finally we're like, you know what? Let's just not work out right now. Let's go get your camera and go to the. Let's not be late to the revolution.
A proverb.
Mm-hmm.
Which
Walk
meanwhile,
back.
I was working upstairs and I was hearing the explosions, like the tear gas canisters going off, and just like really loud pops. And I was like, "What the hell?" And I was hearing sirens, and I was like googling the news. I was like, "Bogota news." Like, is there like some shit going down right now?
Right.
But yeah, then they were like, "Oh, there's some tear gas."
So, anyways, we went there, and this time with like a renewed, okay, let's like actually get into action a little bit now that we have a camera. And so we went there, and there was all sorts of like people running around in like all black. They were on the side of the students, and then there was like the government who they were just like decked out with. We got real close to everything. Jason got some really sick pictures of the cops in like riot gear shooting the tear canisters.
Yeah.
at one point, Jason and I were easily the closest people to the whole thing.
Yeah. I was peeking around the corner, getting some shots of the cops, and I was kind of worried they would maybe kill me.
And so I was a good 40 yards back looking
Nice.
at these two dudes.
But you were just making sure like we didn't.
And then I watched, and there's a crowd of people with me, and there was like some tear gas canisters that were exploding like right next to these guys, and so these guys dip out, and interestingly enough, before then there had been like tear gas canisters that exploded like 10 yards away from us, but they didn't affect us because the wind was pushing the other way. But then the wind happened to push this tear gas canister towards us, and it just cleared the whole crowd.
That one was not as bad for my face, but it was like in my.
Yeah.
I felt like I was gonna throw up. I thought it was like, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna probably end up throwing up here.
It was nice of them to use like the peppermint flavored tear gas though, you know?
Yeah, and
I
for
felt
those-
fresh afterwards.
For those of you like very privileged people who have never been tear gassed before, I mean, it basically feels like you rub your face in, I'd say, like pretty spicy food, like hot sauce. It's like
Yeah.
your eyes
You're, like,
burn,
cutting
and it starts
strong
to tear,
onions.
and it's like in your nostrils, it's like in your mouth,
It's in your throat.
and like it'll get down to your throat and into your lungs if you're in it long enough.
Yeah, like that second one when we were up in there, my lungs were having a tough time with it.
It was kind of cool though because it clears out your sinus.
It really does. I felt really good afterwards.
Right. So like, go to a Revolution even if you don't support it. You know, just get your stuff.
Get your
figured
shit
out.
right. But anyway, the students want more funding for their schools, and the government won't give it to them.
The government's corrupt and just takes money and takes money from the universities. So the universities, Evan, you said that they were operating like at a deficit or something?
Yeah, I read that the universities have been operating in a deficit.
Like the WNBA.
And this university would be like
But these
University of
don't-
Iowa. This is not like just some little rinky-dink thing.
Yeah, it's,
Right.
it's the Universidad Nacional de Colombia, like the National Colombian University.
Yeah, and we saw there was like a fence of the campus, and I don't know how it originally started, but eventually the cops were there, and the students were taking bricks from their campus,
Like
just pulling
off of
them
the
off
buildings?
of like little, buildings and stuff, and they would be throwing them over and hitting the
At this,
the
like,
armored vehicle.
$1 million armored vehicle. Ping. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
and then
And
nothing.
then so then the guys behind the vehicle with the little tear gas bomb shooters, they'd shoot them over, and everyone's just throwing stuff over, but no one's really even getting hurt.
Right. They were just crying.
Right, it's just a big stalemate.
It's a big love fest, dude.
It's sob fest.
So then, like, I think it was the next day they had like the national.
Oh, and everyone around every now and then would start yelling,
Cerdo.
which means pig, or something.
I think it was the next day or 2 days after they had like the national. It's called Paro Nacional, like the national strike, and it was like I think there were midday in Bogota. It happened in all these cities around Colombia, the same kind of thing but larger scale. Midday in Bogota, there were like 200,000 people marching. I think it got up to 1 million. I don't know, but it got really violent down at the plaza down in the main part of town.
Right.
There was spray paint and stuff. I saw a video of a woman spray painting feminism and then a communist sickle and hammer on a very beautiful old building. So
I turned 25 last month, and I found out that with age comes some complications. I have been battling acid reflux all month, so once you turn 25, watch out for that stuff. My tip is don't eat pizza past 8 p.m. Do that, and you're off to a good start.
That's a good call.
Walker and I are running a marathon next month, and the bet is whoever loses has to shave half of their mustache for 5 days, or keep it that way for 5 days. And
so follow us on Instagram at trekyeah, and you'll see one of us.
You'll
with
see
half
some
a
old pictures from
mustache.
Medellin that I'll post later this week.
Are you gonna post the trek in this month or what?
Dude, shut up.
All right. Garrett.
Yes, bro.
Garrett's here.
Garrett's here.
And on Sunday, they do this thing where they close down the streets or whatever.
The big main roads.
So Garrett had a good idea for us to do an XYZ. Garrett?
Garrett, take
So
it
it's
away.
called the Ciclovia, and they've been doing it. How long has it been? marketed?
1974, I think
It's been a long time.
Since Reagan was in
But
office.
every Sunday and then
So
holidays,
good,
they
dude.
shut down these certain like busy streets, and then everyone just takes to them and goes biking and running and stuff like that. Some people on rollerblades, I saw. But
Yeah.
so we rented some bikes and we rode downtown and checked out some stuff, and it was a good time.
It was a great time. We're
Yeah.
cruising around. I got sunburnt, as you can see.
I didn't wear a helmet. as you can see.
I told the lady who was giving our bikes, and we were speaking in Spanish, I told him his middle name is Danger, and she said he watches too many movies.
She's right, though. I love movies, man.
But it's cool. I mean, it's like I don't know how many miles of road they have closed down, but
Me
it's
neither.
it's quite a few.
Must be inconvenient.
And Garrett and I were talking about it, and like there are other cities in the world that try to do it as good as Bogota, but Bogota is considered to be one of the best. And were you saying the cost? I mean,
Yeah, I was reading an article and they were saying it's just really expensive to do because you have to pay.
you have employees everywhere.
Yeah.
Like it's just wild the amount of investment that
Like
goes
closing
into
off
it.
the streets and stuff?
Yes, but
Yeah.
so many people are using
Directing
it. and it's-
traffic.
Lining,
Yeah.
But
The
like,
Transmillennial is still going, though.
but in Bogota, you can tell like it's been really successful here because like everyone is like
Into
part
it.
of the team. Everyone's into it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
it's like
so many people out there.
It's like a
doing
city,
it.
Yeah.
city party, kind of.
Yeah.
It's like a city picnic.
Every Sunday, a rag
A mini Ragbri.
But there's like a big loop you can do all around the city, and the lady told us it was 4 hours that you ride the
Yeah.
bike to get all the way around.
I mean,
But-
depending on how fast you go.
Yeah, true.
I could probably do it in
We're
2.
pretty fast.
So I
So.
do like 1.5.
And that does remind me, this is a different story, but when we were headed home, or I think it was home, I'm not sure, from the ranch, when you saw the last trek in, right, Medellin is like in a bowl, where it's like there's mountains all around. And I
Yeah.
think we were headed up the mountain, and we saw these like roller skaters going down the mountain. Like it was the closest thing to Brink I've ever seen. And these guys are like in full,
Besides
like
Brink?
full, besides Brink itself. They're like full padded out helmets and things. And it was just the most, I don't know.
What the hell is Brink?
So you could say they were bombing.
They were
on the hill.
bombing that hill. It was terrifying.
Ripping.
Ripping it
It
even.
was my
Garrett,
favorite show,
what's
bro.
been your favorite part of Bogota?
So I've been here since last Thursday. My favorite part was probably Ciclovia, I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ciclovia was sweet. And then we went to this. We went to like a restaurant or whatever.
And that's just
Yeah.
been fun hanging out with the guys again. Like I got to go visit them in Vietnam, if you refer back to Trek in 13.
Mhm.
And I don't know, it's just been fun hanging out again. And
What would you say is like the biggest misconception about like trekyeah when you see them on the internet versus like when you hang out with them in real life?
Yeah.
Damn, that's a good question. Like
They're
everyone,
pretty
like
true.
on all the blogs I've seen, everyone says that they're all really mean,
Oh,
but
sure.
they're all just like really kind, tender teddy
True.
bears.
The blogosphere is really blowing up on us right
yeah.
now.
There's been a lot
I
of
think it's some of those comments Walker was alluding to earlier.
there's been a lot of just blogs about
I
us.
may have.
Just so much, dude. And Garrett came from Costa Rica. He was hanging out in
Yeah.
Costa Rica for a couple of months.
What are you doing,
Yeah.
Garrett?
Yeah, I was working at
You're
a
sitting off the
jungle
grid.
resort down like way south Costa Rica on the Pacific side.
Were you like money laundering or something?
Yeah, I was helping with
Trying to get
drug
off-
traffickers.
Trying to get off the grid.
Mm.
But yeah, I was just working at an eco lodge there and hanging out in the jungle, sitting on the beach. So
What's an eco lodge?
What's a jumbo?
Econo Foods.
I mean, it's not like a resort. It's like
Right. you do
Econo
that.
lodge?
like
No.
it's not super like luxury. Like there's no air conditioning or anything like
so
that.
it's like a resort for poor people.
No, it's like a resort, so you can get the full jungle experience. Like at night, you're hearing all the frogs. And
So
shit
people
like
pay
that.
to be
So
uncomfortable?
it's a
It would
resort.
be like a resort if Amish people went and traveled.
It's like a resort with thin walls.
Yeah, that's
I've-
exactly what it is.
I've been to the Econo Lodge in Sheboygan, Wisconsin. Is it like that?
A lot like it, yeah.
It's a
only
chain.
with tours of the jungle.
Well, it was a lot different.
Tell
Yeah.
them about the David Attenborough thing.
Oh, so it's pretty expensive to stay there, and like they've said, there's been a lot of like famous people that have come. Like I guess Jessica Alba came.
Ooh!
I never told you. Oh, John McCain was gonna come, and they had like
Oh, but he
the
died.
Secret Service like check it out and stuff, and then he bailed last second. But
They
anyway,
saw there
so
was no AC.
so one of the last weeks I was there was these two ladies, and they were producers from the BBC, and they were scoping out the area to film the Scarlet Macaws, and they were just talking about like, oh yeah, then we'll film a scene with David Attenborough right in front here, and the monkeys in the back and stuff. So
Who's David Attenborough?
he's the Planet Earth guy.
He's
The voice.
The voice of basically every single animal thing you've probably ever seen.
He does speaks like a Britain man.
He's in Avengers Endgame. I think he's the guy who kills Thanos.
Dude.
Oh,
crud.
sorry. Not everyone's seen Endgame yet.
But so I had an extra week before I have to go back to the States, and so I was like, fuck it, I'm going to Colombia and hanging out with the boys.
Well, it wasn't that simple. You won like a pretty big giveaway, and you got like a week with trekyeah.
Well, let's not get into
After you
that.
bought a bunch of...
You bought a bunch of Pringles.
Garrett's got the high
And a
school.
Tinder Gold.
Right, asking about Tinder Gold. This is a little sponsorship we're doing. So
Right, shout out Tinder.
One thing that's cool about Bogota is it feels like there's so much going on. Like it's so cultured. You see like punk people and like you see like you see just different kinds of people that I didn't feel like I saw in Medellin as much. There's more variance.
Bogota's got some swag.
It's got some swag. I think it's a good word for it.
Huh.
It reminds me of Berlin
I'm not-
even. It reminds me of Berlin
Just because all that guy was tagging last night.
because that guy was tagging. Yeah, just that guy.
It's so-
It was sick. It's like Berlin.
What are you gonna say, Garrett?
It's really like spread out in a lot of areas too. Like if you go on like Dorado Ave over there, like the sidewalks are huge. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like you don't see that too much in big cities.
And there's beautiful mountains.
Beautiful mornings too.
Beautiful mornings with fog on the beautiful mountains.
Oh, here's kind of a weird one.
Yeah.
I went on a date with this a Colombian gal, and
Yeah.
Are you my grandpa?
You mean a lass?
A senora?
Anyway, sir.
and so I showed up.
Wait, where'd you meet her? Or how'd you meet her?
Oh well, I was okay. He's
Plug
getting.
it.
Oh well, Tinder. Of course.
There you go, sponsored.
Yeah, you click the affiliate link.
Stupid
10
joke
days.
every time.
10 days gold free.
But anyways, we're at the place, and we were both very late for blah 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 reasons, and we get there and the place is full, and she was like, "Oh, what should we do?" And I was like, "Oh, there's another bar like down the street. It's not a big issue." And she was like, "Okay, well, we can take my car." And I was like, "Oh, okay, awesome." And so we're going to get in the car, and then she was like, also, my brother's in the car, and so is my mom. And she opens the front door, and I was like, what? I was like, and she was like, you're going to sit here. Like, she's like, I know, sorry. And I was like, okay. And I sat in there, and her brother gave me a handshake, and I was like, hey, hi, mom. And I was, talking to them the best I could in Spanish. And she was like, yeah, after we got out, she's like, yeah, that's weird. Like, I know especially for Americans, it's like very odd, but it's not like super weird here because, I don't know, culturally things are a little different.
Family and stuff.
Right. But, yeah, I guess that was a little goofy.
How was the date?
They was sick, dude.
Did you have fun?
Mm-hmm.
Another fun date brought to you by Tinder.
I went to the orchestra, the Dresden Orchestra in Bogota, believe it or not, with Carly, and there was a really sweet old man that came up to us and just started talking to us about golf and Tiger Woods and showed us pictures. He showed us pictures of his
boy.
grandkids. Yeah.
My God.
Well, actually, we were having a conversation about that earlier today. Everyone in
Why was
Medellin
he
we
doing
talked
that?
to was like people in Bogota are cold. Like, like Bogota, they're cold, they're not friendly. But like I have seen nothing but friendly, and like it's just I think people always like to say that about bigger cities.
I think actually there's a really good study about the person holding the cold coffee, and they have the interaction the same exact way. And in one, they're holding a cold coffee, and they ask the person to hold it. And one, they're holding a warm coffee, and they ask the person to hold it while they like tie their shoe.
Sure.
And the interaction is the same every time, and they always rate the person with the warm coffee as much more friendly and outgoing and amiable and stuff. And maybe because it's a little chilly here.
Sure.
That's why I think that.
Huh.
That's my theory.
Interesting.
I agree.
Especially because this is really the only cold city in Colombia. The only city that's chilly.
Cold, yeah.
Fresh.
Yeah.
Everything else is hot.
That's been our month.
Bucaramanga.
Yeah. We're going to Peru next.
We're going to have a
Yes.
pop-up shop in Lima, Peru.
Yeah, streetwear. It's going to be
Sounds
like
swag.
super deluxe, super dry. Like bleach stuff with holes in it.
So we got the marathon on the 19th. Show up to the marathon drippy.
True.
Yeah, if anybody wants to cheer us on in Peru, come out.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Free.
Feel free.
Show your colors.
Free photos with trekyeah.
Free photos. We'll buy you lunch.
Well,
Limit 5 people.
yeah. I mean, there's gonna be a lot of people that take you up on that, dude.
Limit $10 per.
Oh, a free lunch in Lima? Hold on.
Hold on, let me skate.
Alright,
If
bye.
you want to see the live results of the marathon, Hashtag Lima Marathon 2019.
/trekyeah all of our sponsors.
Half stash.
Half slash.
The hash slinging slasher.
Oh, shout out NFL Draft.
Shout out Heat Check. Shout out Heat Check on YouTube for the best NBA analysis videos.
Also,
Stephen,
comment
Jordan
below
Peterson.
who you think can beat the Golden State Warriors.
We'll catch
please
you.
don't say the Bucks.
It's Denver.
Denver. I think that's the show. Let me change it to the recorder.